So this is also in common for us.
Rarely reading.
No, it's not common for all. I am confused. Okay. How do you spend your free time? Who can start? Okay. I can start. I told in the first lesson that I visit English-speaking clubs, and also sometimes like some sports, some reading, some meeting with friends, and films. Nothing special.
For me, as I spend a lot of energy for job and building the habit to go to sport, I usually procrastinate watching TV shows. At least now I watch them in English, so I can say that I'm studying also in the same time. But everything that is not related to job, I'm really lazy. Paolo, Italian.
I also love procrastinating. I procrastinate for days, and sometimes I just walk in the park and listen to music.
So procrastination is common for all of us.
Yeah.
Yay!
Can relate. Yeah. Well, I think you're not procrastinating, you're having your mental health walks, which is crucial for your health.
Maybe.
Okay, and the last one.
So what is something you used to do much, but now you simply don't have time for it?
For me, reading, like some extra work books. And you?
For me, it's studying. I usually have I usually take, I don't know, 3 or 4 courses related to my job in a year. But for last year, I didn't take even one till the end because I simply don't have time for it.
Okay, as for me, I used to ride on my bicycle on weekends, but for the last year, I almost never done it, and I regret that I did not. Okay, that's all.
Okay, so we have in common that we rarely visit concerts and we like to procrastinate, if I properly understood.
Okay. All right. Good. So then it means that it's normal, that it's okay. At least it's average. Yeah. Good news. Okay, a couple of things I noted. Can you give me a synonym, maybe an idiom you know, which means very rarely? Do you know any?
Seldom, it's the same or not exactly?
Seldom. Well, I would say seldom is okay here. Yeah, like quite seldom. Yeah, let's put it here. Yeah. Any other?
From time to time.
From time to time. Good. But do you think it's very rarely? I do it from time to time. Yeah, it's more like sometimes.
Mhm.
But it's a good thing sometimes from time to time. Mhm. Right. How about hardly ever?
Mm. Mhm.
Okay. Well, we're going to learn a couple of them today. And maybe you knew once in a blue moon. This one is an idiom. So if you do something once in a blue moon, do you do it often?
No,
Rarely.
No, very rarely. Like, yeah.
Oh,
If
did
the
you
blue
know
moon
that
happens.
today's Blue Monday?
Okay.
It's like the hardest day of a year.
Yeah, once in a blue Monday. Yeah, that's great. Okay, so Paul already said from time to time. Do you know any other synonyms to sometimes? Just to go to concerts. An idiom, a phrase, maybe something similar, not necessarily a synonym. Okay, so at this
what
point,
about
Yeah.
occasionally?
lovely. Occasionally. Yeah, that is good. Occasionally. Some people say there's a difference between sometimes and occasionally, but let's simplify your life. It's not. So I think they are quite the same. Occasionally and sometimes. Okay. Can I repeat the word? Occasionally.
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 Occasion.
Occasionally. Okay. Like, if you happen to log in Twitter or in Tinder, there is a thing, do you smoke? And you can put, I am an occasional smoker. So I smoke occasionally. This also can be an adjective.
Mhm.
Okay. Good job saying lately. Good. Lately. Perfect. Can you please paraphrase this? This is a good thing to say. Things related to work. Nice. Maybe make it more spoken, more informal.
Professional.
Okay, more informal. Yeah, more spoken. Yeah, so usually we say not things, but when we speak with
Stuff.
friends. Stuff, okay, so blah, 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 stuff.
Like work-related stuff.
Yeah, you can simply say work stuff. I basically read work stuff most of the time. Work stuff or work-related stuff. Yep. Okay, good. Yeah. And something you used to do, but now you don't. Yeah. Do your professional development stuff. Yeah. Not self-development, but professional development, which is also a good thing. Okay. Lovely. Let's move on here. And just a quick reminder, you have notes and I will update them after every lesson. So you will see everything we discussed here. Okay. Notes. Okay. You're going to listen to 8 people answering questions. Do you blah, blah, blah much? So you answered, do you go to concerts much? Do you read much? Yeah. What else can we ask? For example, can you give us some questions? Do you much?
Eat, drink, sleep.
Do you eat much? Do you drink much? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, of course I do. Yeah, so kind of. So you're going to listen and write the question you think people answered. Okay, so you listen to the question or answers?
Answers.
Answers, okay. You need to write what question you think it was beforehand. Okay, good. So how many questions are you going to write?
8.
Okay, 8 questions. Yeah, so be ready to do 8 questions. All right, so let me say if the audio is clear enough. Okay. It will take a couple of seconds till I get used to it, sorry. Mhm. I knew it would happen, I knew. Right, and 1, 2. Okay. Do you hear anything?
Just you.
Only me, okay. Then let's try one more time. Mhm.
All the time. My headphones are glued to my ears. I like
Do you
all
hear?
kinds of stuff as well. Reggaeton.
Was it good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
1. Yeah, all the time. My headphones are glued to my ears. I like all kinds of stuff as well. Reggaeton, hip hop, even some pop.
2.
Not as much as I'd like to, because I really love it, especially musicals. I mean, I do go now and then, but the seats are so expensive I can't afford to go more than a couple of times a year.
3.
Very rarely, to be honest. I guess I might in the summer, if it's very hot. I find it a bit boring, just going up and down the pool. It's not really my kind of thing. And I'm not very good at it either.
4.
Probably less than I think I do, if you know what I mean. It's often on in the background, you know, but I don't pay much attention to it most of the time. I do sometimes watch the big matches if they're on, and the occasional film, but apart from that, most of it's rubbish.
5.
Yeah, I guess so. I usually play football on a Wednesday, and I go running now and then. I generally cycle to college as well, unless it's raining.
6.
No, not as a rule. I tend to watch films on demand through my TV at home. Oh, and I download quite a lot of stuff too.
7.
Yeah, at the weekends, of course. I go shopping, go to the cinema, go clubbing sometimes. I don't tend to during the week, though, because I have to get up early for school and I've got homework, and basically my parents prefer me to stay at home.
8.
Not as much as I used to. I was addicted to this online game for a while, until I started to realize it was a problem. I'd sometimes play for 5 hours a day. I sometimes play other games now, but I've learned to control it all a bit more.
Okay.
Can
So
I repeat the first one?
the first one, okay. Yeah, guys, do you want me to repeat any of them?
Also 6, 1, please.
Mhm. Yeah, 6 and 4th.
1. Yeah, all the time. My headphones are glued to my ears. I like all kinds of stuff as well. Reggaeton, hip hop, even some pop.
I read the 6th one because it's difficult to move here. No, not as a rule. I tend to watch films on demand through my TV at home. I download quite a lot of stuff too. Yeah, there was number 6, and which one?
4.
The 4, okay. Probably less than I think I do, if you know what I mean. It's often on the background, you know, but I don't pay much attention to it most of the time. I do sometimes watch the big matches if they're on, and the occasional film, but apart from that, most of it's rubbish.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right, so please compare your answers, okay, together.
My first one is, how often do you use earphones?
Yeah, but your question can be, do you much? Okay, so only do you, blah, 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 much.
Okay, do you use your earphones much?
I think that it was, do you listen to music much? Because he started to count music styles that
Yeah,
he prefers. So
I
I
agree.
think,
I also think it is, do you listen to music much?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Vitaly, how about the second one?
Do you visit concerts much?
Okay, guys, what do you have?
I agree.
yeah, me too.
Same here. Okay. Any other ways you can replace visit with?
Go to concerts.
Like
Go to
attend?
concert? Attend concerts. Amazing. Yeah, go to concerts or attend concerts.
Yeah.
Lovely. Okay. Yeah. So the third one, yeah, Julia, what do you have?
I have, do you swim much?
Okay. Yeah. Vitaly, what do you have?
Almost the same, but visit swimming pool.
Paul?
Yeah, I also think this is. Do you go to the swimming pool much?
Yeah, swimming pool much. Yeah, visitors go to the swimming pool much. Great. Okay, number 4. Paul, what do you have?
Do you watch TV much?
Does everybody agree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. So, and number 6, Vitaly?
5, I think.
Yep, sorry.
Do you, I don't know exactly, maybe do sports or like do some sports much?
Okay, guys, what do you think?
I have the same.
Same.
Yeah,
Yeah, same. Do
sports.
you do sports much?
Excellent. Good. Okay, number 6, Paul.
I don't know what it is.
All right. Okay, Julia.
I believe it's go to movie. Or
Go to movie. Okay, Vitaly, what do you think?
I have written only word films. Maybe how much do you? Well, I'm confused. How do you watch films much or visit cinema much?
Okay, so there was something. I tend to watch films on demand through my TV, and I download quite a lot of them. Yeah, so then that's more about films. Yeah, do you watch films much? All right. Okay. Yeah. Good. Julia, next one, number 7.
you caught me. I don't know. I believe that it's something related to go shopping or shopping mall or just mall, big malls where you can, I don't know, go to the movie, shopping, or attend some, I don't know, attractions.
Okay, some rides. Okay.
Yes, I'm right.
Okay, guys, what do you think? Is it just shopping in particular or about like entertaining yourself?
Maybe it is about do you go out much?
Okay, go out. Good, Vitaly, what do you think? Can you summarize?
I also don't know. I've heard some related words, but I agree with Paul more.
Okay. Yeah, so basically it was about shopping. Do you go shopping much? Yeah. Do you go shopping much? Sorry, no. It is about going out. Yep. Wasn't attentive. And the last one. Vitaly?
Do you play online games much?
Yeah, agree. Have different.
It's just I wrote, do you play computer games much? but
Okay.
it's
Yeah, that was
almost
on.
the same.
Yeah, fairly obvious. Yeah. Okay. Do you play computer online games, which are the same? Yeah. Games online. That's the same now. Online. Much. Okay. Good then. Okay. So can you please brainstorm any phrases, words that you remember from the extracts, from the recordings? I'm not gonna let you listen again, but what you remember? Any phrases, words from the recording you remember?
Some special words? Or like what?
Doesn't matter. Like something that pops into your head. Some phrases maybe that just kind of stand out.
Looks like
Well,
very ordinary, like watching TV, swimming, visiting concert, like.
All right. Okay, good. So we're going to listen to these recordings again. Okay, and I'd like you to catch 3-4 phrases, 2-3-4 phrases that you like. Okay? Some words even, okay? Not necessarily a phrase, but a word. Something that you just caught and wrote down, okay?
Mhm.
1,
Yeah, all the time. My headphones are glued to my ears. I like all kinds of stuff as well. Reggaeton, hip hop, even some pop.
2,
Not as much as I'd like to, because I really love it, especially musicals. I mean, I do go now and then, but the seats are so expensive I can't afford to go more than a couple of times a year.
3,
Very rarely, to be honest. I guess I might in the summer, if it's very hot. I find it a bit boring, just going up and down the pool. It's not really my kind of thing. And I'm not very good at it either.
4,
Probably less than I think I do, if you know what I mean. It's off and on in the background, you know, but I don't pay much attention to it most of the time. I do sometimes watch the big matches if they're on, and the occasional film, but apart from that, most of it's rubbish.
5,
Yeah, I guess so. I usually play football on a Wednesday and I go running now and then. I generally cycle to college as well, unless it's raining.
6,
No, not as a rule. I tend to watch films on demand through my TV at home. Oh, and I download quite a lot of stuff too.
7,
Yeah, at the weekends, of course. I go shopping, go to the cinema, go clubbing sometimes. I don't tend to during the week though, because I have to get up early for school and I've got homework and basically my parents prefer me to stay at home.
8,
Not as much as I used to. I was addicted to this online game for a while until I started to realize it was a problem. I'd sometimes play for 5 hours a day. I sometimes play other games now, but I've learned to control it all a bit more.
Okay. So, did you manage to catch? Yeah, Vitali, can you say 2-3 phrases you caught?
Yeah. The first one is as much as I would like to do. Like I don't remember the whole sentence, but this phrase.
That's good.
And going up and down. Actually, I didn't understood the meaning in this sentence, but it's like changeable situation, as I understand.
What was the context? What was he talking about?
About swimming pool, that he's going there, but some up and downs are there. I didn't realize it was about that.
No, that was not metaphor. It just was literal. Going up and down the pool. Yeah, so we have a starting point up and down the pool.
Ah.
Yeah.
So like, in fact, it's not up and down, but like
Yeah.
forward and backward.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And most of it is rubbish. It's not like phrasal verb, but good phrase to use sometimes.
Okay. Yeah. So do we have another it or is here, guys? Maybe you remember. Or can assume.
Most of them are rubbish.
Mhm.
Or-
Most of them are rubbish. Okay. Yeah, it's also possible. Most of them are rubbish. Yeah. Also, you can say this one, original, most of it is rubbish, and together, most of it's rubbish. Yeah, which was the original one. Okay, thank you. Great. Paul, any phrases you got?
I've got first is glued to my ears. I just like how it sounds. Next one is my kind of thing. Then either I'm not sure I understand how to use it. Yeah. Then apart from that, it's interesting and don't tend to, and not as a rule.
Wow. Okay. Is there anything left for Julia? What do you have?
To be honest, Paul said everything that I wrote down.
Okay.
But I also have like find it boring, interesting, like find it boring to find something boring,
Totally
interesting.
worth mentioning.
Not as much as I used to.
Okay.
And I'm not sure that I caught it in right way, but all for none or something like this, or for,
All for none.
I don't know.
Okay, guys, did you hear anything similar?
No.
I'm not sure I can find it here. All for now, not for none. Do you remember the number of recording? The line?
No, it was woman.
Was okay, it says something.
There was like now and then also, but maybe it is.
Great, it was, yeah. Now and then. Yeah, there is a word before now. That is every. And we're going to discuss it now. So I'm going to start with the first one, okay? So do you remember, is this the original phrase from the recording or is something missing?
Not as much. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So in real life conversation, would you use as much as I'd like to or not as much as I'd like to? Which one do you think you need more when you
Not
speak?
as much as I'd like to.
Yeah, basically this one, okay? Yeah. So can you all repeat the phrase, not as much as I'd like to?
Not as much as I'd like to.
Not as much as I like to.
Can we try to link the words? Not as much as I'd like to. Not as much as I'd like to. I'd like to. Okay, so not as much as I'd like to. Paul?
Not as much as I'd like to.
As much as I'd like to. As much as. Together.
Not as much as I'd like to.
Okay, yeah, Vitaly?
Not as much as I like to.
I'd like to.
I'd like to.
Okay, yeah, Julia?
Not as much as I'd like to.
Okay, good. So going up and down the pool, yeah, clarified. Okay. Yeah, so what did the speaker mean by rubbish? Is it like literally rubbish?
Trash.
Yeah, in English it's trash, yeah. Okay, so is it good quality movies or not?
Bad.
Mhm,
Bad
yeah,
quality.
yeah. Like TV shows, yeah, like something on Novi Canal, for example. Okay. And this one, what can be glued to your ears? What was in the recording?
It's like someone can't
Okay.
use to glue headphones
Yeah.
to your ears.
Yeah, you can't remove them. You can take them
Yes,
off.
yes, yes.
Yeah. So they're headphones that are glued to your ears. Yeah.
So is it like the music which we listen again and again?
Not
Because
necessarily. Okay. So if you are a teenager, your headphones are glued to your ears. That means you.
You're always using them, like
so
24/7.
it's about earphones.
Can be.
And
24 and
I
7.
thought,
Yeah.
I thought that it's about specific song, like the song is glued to ears.
No,
But
but
now I
might be,
understand.
but yeah, yeah. So can you be glued to something? Okay.
To computer, for example.
Yeah, so it can be glued to my computer. What else?
Phone.
Phone.
Smartphone.
Usually we say not phone, but I'm glued to my screen. Yeah, glued to my screen. Yeah, glued to my screen. Yeah, glued to my screen. Constantly looking at. Okay, that's a good phrase. Okay, my kind of thing. Great. Anything we can replace think with?
I like it.
I like it.
Just-
Yeah. Okay, my kind of similar to think.
Stuff.
Kind of stuff. Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, think of stuff. My kind of stuff and think. Can it be with a negative thing? Not my kind of stuff. Yeah, not my kind of stuff as well. Okay. Okay. So what do you say here? Not as much as I used to. So what does it mean if you say that you play not as much as you used to?
Not doing it so often.
So you
As you did
compare with
before.
something with what? Julia?
Like you don't do this as much as you did it before.
So you compare with, yeah, like maybe a time in the past, particular time in the past. Yeah, good. Can we all repeat? Not as much as I used to.
Not as much as I used to.
Not as much as I used to.
Okay, yeah. And someone got a question about this one. I'm not good at it either. Yeah, it's not my kind of thing, and I'm not good at it either. Okay, so what is either if you are to replace it with another word and put it somewhere in the sentence? Yep. Or I'm also not good. Yeah. So I don't like it, and I'm also not good at it. So not good at it either. Yeah. So either, also, too. Okay. So how about this one? Don't tend to. If we don't tend to do something, do we do it as a habit? Do we have a habit?
Actually, don't.
Yeah. Don't tend to. When we use don't tend to, do we talk about present or past habits?
Present?
Yeah, only present habits. Okay, yeah. Not as a rule. Okay. Can you use it only in a negative sentence?
As a rule, we can say.
Yeah, sure,
Yes.
as a rule. What do you say in your language?
Often.
Mm,
Or-
oh, we have similar sentence, almost the same.
Як правило,
And negative?
м,
Так само, як правило, але не роблю щось.
Uh-huh.
Може.
What is the wording? Remember? We put not at the end. Yeah. Як правило, ні. Okay, but here it's at the beginning, not as a rule.
мгм.
Yeah, find boring. Yeah, so the find synonym here is I find it boring, so I
think it's boring.
I think it's boring. Okay, every now and then, let's go back to the feedback stage here. So every now and then, do you think this is sometimes or very rarely? Every now and then.
It looks like always by simple logic.
Okay,
Now and
every now, okay. Paul, Julia, what do you think? Is it more like always, rarely, or sometimes?
Seems like sometimes.
Yeah, that's sometimes. From time to time, might be our periodично. Okay, so every now and then. You may hear every now and again, which is the same. So I'm gonna pronounce this phrase, and you tell me what happens with pronunciation. There's something specific, okay? Every now and then, every now and then, every now and again.
Like
It's one sound we
D
drop.
is disappearing, like and but no D in the end.
Yeah, that's good. Like H&M. Okay, can you all repeat? Every now and again.
Every now and then. Every now and then.
Okay, Juliet?
Now
Every
and
now
then.
and again.
Vitaly?
Every now and then.
Here is and again, yes, or then. Yeah, you can take which you prefer. Okay, good. Let's. So we discussed don't tend to, yeah, every now and then. Let's brainstorm what else you know, like words, grammar, structures, whatever we use to talk about habits.
Break the habit.
Okay, I mean not the words about habits, but what we use to talk about habits. Like we have tend to, don't tend to, some structure, some grammar, more about grammar. Something basic, let's start with something basic.
Start from the scratch.
Okay, grammar, okay, not on vocabulary, grammar. So something we learn from school, yeah, something very basic. Yep, nice and simple. Talk about habits, everyday routine, something we do regularly.
Oh, I see.
What else?
I used to, maybe.
Used to, okay. So what kind of habit do we discuss when we use used to?
The habit that we had in past but don't have now.
It is finished now, yes, finished now. I used to, okay. So Paul, what is the negative of used to? Yeah, I used to, and what's the negative form?
I didn't use to.
Okay. So what happens with used to, Paul, if you have didn't?
I didn't use past form removes from use.
Didn't used to, yeah. But when we hear Do we catch it in pronunciation? Used to, didn't used to. Does it change in pronunciation?
Not at all.
Not at all. So it remains the same. So listen, I used to play guitar. I used to play. I didn't used to spend lots of time. Didn't used to. That's the same. Can you repeat? Didn't used to.
Didn't used to.
I didn't used to.
Okay, and I
Didn't
used to.
used to.
Mhm. Okay. Good. Anything else that we use talk about habits?
Like this in past, or I have been studying, or I'm doing some, let it be studying for 2 hours every day for 1 year. Is it correct?
That's not talking about habits. Okay, this is something that you've been doing for a while. Here's
Okay, but
something
we can,
regular.
I can choose something like I have been playing chess, or like doing sport every day for a year.
Okay, but
Is it
so
okay?
what is what do you want to convey here? Do you want to talk about duration, how long you're doing, or talk about something you regularly do or don't do?
About duration, like have been doing. I'm always confused with this grammar.
Okay, we'll work on that, but now it's about regular things, okay?
Okay.
Anything else regarding past habits, okay? Used to, and there's something, one thing. Have you ever heard of would as a past habit? Okay. So you use would for habits that were regular and basically more about your behavior. Okay, so if you look at used to and would, I used to smoke, but now I don't. Or I used to play football every week with my friends. And when my grandpa was alive, he would give me presents every Sunday. Or when I was a child, I would cry every time my parents quarreled, for example. Okay. So which one is more about some states? Used to or would?
States?
Like something stable. Not actions, regular behavior, but stable states.
Used to?
Yeah, so used to is more about some. Used to is more about states, past states. Yeah. And would, regular behavior. Okay. All right, so past habits, present simple, don't tend to, some phrases, some words, not grammar, but phrases. Like sometimes, blah, blah, blah. Something we discussed, maybe you can repeat it again, so remember more. When you compare your past version to your now version.
Like overcome. To overcome our past version.
Okay, so structures we use that are related to something regular. Okay, when we talk about something regular. So something we discussed just 5 minutes ago, every now and
Again.
yeah, this is what I mean. And again. Okay. Anything else that is fresh in your mind?
As a rule.
Okay, as a rule, not as a rule. Okay.
Like I am glued to something.
Okay, could be I'm glued to something. Yeah, shows how regular it is. Good. Okay. Okay, good then. So over here, you have 7 sentences. Okay, they are in Ukrainian. I'd like you to translate them into English, but keep in mind that wording might be different. Okay, so not just translation word for word. Maybe it's a bit different in English. Can you please do it individually on your note somewhere? And then we check and see what you have. Yeah, so you don't need to translate ha, it's just ha ha ha, okay? Not to confuse you. Okay, so let's have around 4 minutes for that. In the first sentence, you may want to add more emotions to the second part of the sentence, okay? Yeah, Vitaly, finished?
Mm, yes, I think, but some points I just skipped because I didn't know them.
That's okay. That's okay. That means you have something to learn. Okay,
Yep.
let's have the last minute, okay? And we'll discuss together. Right? Can we summarize together? Okay. And okay, Paul, can you read the first sentence option you have?
As a rule, I read for work, but I do read literature from time to time.
Time to time, yeah. By the way, what do we call художню літературу?
Artificial.
Fiction.
Fiction, yeah, fiction. Or can we say novels? Yeah, novels, fiction. Well, that's good. Yeah, like it. Julia, Vitaly, what do you have? You may have different options.
I used mostly as the mostly I read work stuff, but I read fiction time to time. I couldn't escape the tautology of read.
Okay, good. Time to time. Is there something you missed in this phrase?
And
Is one more
I
word
want to ask about Paul's example. So we can say just I do and skip read.
Okay. Julia, what do you think? Can we skip read in this case?
If we already used read before and the person understands that we are talking about reading, I think we can, like in usual life, we can skip it.
Okay. Paul, did you have read or it's just me who overheard?
I have read.
Yeah, that's so we need read. Okay. So Paul, can you explain why you use do read here instead of simply read?
Because it may change sense, I think. Because I do not create fiction, I just read them.
Okay, yeah, but why do you
Maybe.
use do here?
To emphasize
Yeah, it's not
bit
that
of-
I don't
yes.
read at all fiction. Yeah, I do read, but not very much. Yeah, so you just simply put and say that you read some fiction novels. Please don't forget about that. Okay, Vitaly, is there any words before time here that you may have missed?
No.
I read fiction, blah, 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 time to time. Yeah, so you would use...
I used occasionally, from time.
Yeah, or occasionally. Okay, that's also possible. Julia, what's your option?
I usually read work stuff, but I do read fiction every now and then.
Great. Every now and then is also possible and very good. Okay, lovely. Good. Okay, glad you used do for emphasis. How about number 2? Vitaly, what do you have?
I used to go to gym regularly, but frankly speaking, now I don't have time for it.
I used to go to the gym. Okay, Paul, what do you have?
I tend to go to the gym earlier. Now I don't have much time, honestly.
Have much time, honestly. Hey guys, can we use tend to for a past habit? Okay, so tend to only for present habits.
Oh.
Yeah, so what do we use when the habit is finished, no longer exists?
Used.
Okay, can you say your sentence again?
I used to go to the gym earlier. Now I don't have much time, honestly.
So in this case, you don't need earlier because used to means earlier. It's already implies. Okay, Julia, what's your option?
I used to go to the gym, but now I don't have much time, to be honest.
To be honest is also possible. Good, to be honest. Okay, so number 3. Paul, what do you have?
Oh, not as much as I'd like to. Once in a never, haha.
Once in a never. Okay, guys, what do you have? Do you have anything different?
Yeah, I have different. Not so often as I would like to. Hardly ever.
Okay, hardly ever. Julia, what do you have?
I used to be really simple. Not as much as I'd like to, almost never.
Almost never. Okay, so unfortunately, we don't have once in a never in English. Yeah, but we have once in a blah 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 moon.
Once in a blue moon.
Once in a blue moon. Once in a blue moon. Okay, that's great. Yeah. So as you can see in Ukrainian, we say не так часто. Yeah, but in English, it's not really often. But what is it that we use? That's much. So you see the difference. Не так часто, not as much. Okay? In meaning багато, but it's also часто. Okay. How about number 4? Yeah. Vitaly, what do you have?
Where you used to visit theater when you lived in Lviv?
Visit. Okay, guys, what do you have? Julia?
Did you used to go to the theater when you lived in Lviv?
Okay, did you used to? Paul, what do you have?
I think it maybe would you go to the theater when I lived in Lviv?
Good. So here's the thing. We don't usually use would for questions, but mostly we use did you used to for questions. Okay, but grammarly would is okay. It's just not usually used in questions. So the final version, did you used to go to the theater when you lived in Lviv? Okay. So real quick, number 5. Good, Julia, what do you have?
We used to hang out at this cafe, but now everyone is busy.
Hey guys, do you have something different or the same?
The same.
Okay,
Yeah,
Paul?
agree.
Good. That's good. Okay, and number 6. Yep, Vitaly.
One moment. Not as a rule, but time to time, I do listen jazz.
But blah blah blah, time to time.
But I do listen jazz from time to time.
From time to time. Okay, good. Thank you, Paul. Julia, do you have anything different?
Maybe
I just
oh,
sorry. I used every now and again in the beginning or in the end. At the end.
That's very good.
That's
Paul,
all.
what do you use?
I think it is. I tend to listen to jazz from time to time.
Yeah, it's
Is it
possible.
okay?
It's okay, but here, not as a rule. Okay, it's like the contrast. We want to emphasize that actually we do listen to jazz, just not very much. Okay? But tanto is possible if we didn't have as a rule. It would be possible. Okay. And sorry, last one. Kept you too long. Okay, Paul, what do you have for 7th?
I don't have any. Maybe not as much as I used to.
Okay, then blah blah blah. Yeah, guys, do you have the same?
No, this one I just use not so often, but I understood that it's not correct.
Okay. Yeah, Juliet, do you have the same?
Yes, the same.
Okay,
Not as much as I
lovely.
used to.
Good. So we were really short on time today. Sorry, we didn't have time to do the speaking task. That was the main one. So we'll start with that next time on Wednesday. Okay. So you'll have homework, like a couple of sentences just to make your knowledge solid. Okay. So just 15-20 minutes up to that. Okay.
And what is homework? I missed.
I'm gonna place on the Miro board, and you will see. Okay, next to your classwork. So
Okay.
have a lovely evening. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.